Hey, what's going on, Node Nation? It's CJ Wilson here with DoakTalk. I am your host here to bring you guys some breaking news, some great news on the recruiting trail. FSU lands the commitment of four-star blue chip, top 100 receiver Daylan McCutcheon out of Texas. Big time get from Mike Norvell and Coach Ron Dugas on the recruiting trail. FSU ended up beating out some heavy hitters for Daylan in regards to landing his commitment. Ohio State, Texas, and USC are amongst the top other three contenders, rather, for Daylan McCutcheon. I like this kid a lot. Big time playmaker, big time getting going into the state of Texas to grab him is a very impressive feat, like I said, from Dugas and Coach Norvell. Just to speak about Daylan for a little bit in regards to his recruitment. Like I said, those are the teams that he worked considering along at SMU. He took an official visit there as well. Ended up electing to commit to the Seminoles, took an official visit to FSU, highlighted some of the things like development, the staff being straight shooters, and the family atmosphere in regards to, the vibes of the players and things like that. The team, he did take an official visit for FSU's big official visit weekend on the 21st, if I'm not mistaken, June the 21st. So we landed a commitment from Daylan, like I said, big time playmaker. Love this kid a lot. Daylan also has some family ties to the Florida area. If I'm not mistaken, he has some family members that stays down south in Fort Lauderdale. So coming to Tallahassee or coming to Florida, coming to Tallahassee via Texas isn't as big of a move for him as some may perceive, as he's still familiar with the state of Florida and has some ties to the state of Florida. But again, big time playmaker. Just looking at his film and his huddle, as you guys can see in the highlights, I am so high on this kid, like so high. He's very exciting. He's a complete package at receiver. He's a dynamic playmaker. He's explosive with the ball in his hands. He's a great route runner. Gets in and out of his breaks very smooth. His release off the line of scrimmage is pretty impressive for a high school kid. Knows how to stack up his defensive backs and get where he wants within his route. Does it very fluidly. Doesn't have any really wasted motion or wasted movement at the line of scrimmage. As you guys know, especially today with the 7-on-7 age, these kids do all these moves at the line of scrimmage, doing this, that, and the third, taking so much time from the actual route. And the quarterback is, looking the other way because it's taking so much time. Not with Daylan. He's one move, he's upfield, trying to get into his route real quick and real subtle. I love that. Great hands. When I say great hands, this kid has great hands. Looking at his highlights, you can see it's a couple one-handed catches. It's a lot of fingertip catches from Daylan McCutcheon. This guy has great hands. He can catch the ball very well. Yards after the catch. Like I say, he's dynamic and explosive. Anytime the ball touches his hands, this kid is liable to take it to the house. He has that type of playmaking ability. He makes guys miss. He has that Superman in the phone booth type of mindset, if you will, in regards to just being very slippery in a very condensed space. He can make something out of nothing, like I stated, and take a 5-yard to 10-yard gain and turn into a 30, turn into a 40 to 50-yard gain and possibly a touchdown. So as far as playmaking abilities and things like that, this kid is dynamic. He is a total package. He is listed at 5'11", 175 pounds, but look at his film. The film doesn't lie. He can do anything on the receiver, on the field as a wide receiver. He also makes a lot of contested catches too, due to his strong hands and things like that. So I like this kid a lot. FSU, this is the second receiver commit for FSU, Mike Norvell and Ron Dugas. And speaking to some people off record in regards to the type of receivers Ron Dugas is trying to bring in for this recruiting cycle, pretty much is quote unquote who want guys that have the ability rather to come in and play right away. And you get the commitment of Daylan McCutcheon. You already have C.J. Wiley committed, who was another 4-star top-rated receiver, right at 6'4", 295 pounds. Those two guys have the potential to be the type of receiver that Ron Dugas wants. And I also believe that these two receivers complement each other very well. You have the 6'4", 195 to 200 pounder in Wiley, who also runs a sub-10 and 100-meter speed, right? Speed at that size is crazy. And Daylan McCutcheon, a 5'11", jack-of-all-trades receiver that can do anything. If I had to have a player comp just from an NFL standpoint and things like that, it'd be Stephon Diggs. Reminds me a lot of Stephon Diggs. Real smooth, real subtle, can do everything. Run every route on the route tree, beat you deep, all of the above. So real big good for Mike Norvell and staff. Mike Norvell is a receiver coach by nature. And also you have Ron Dugas, who is, like I said, he is a value receiver coach in his own right, playing at FSU, coaching at various other schools. So to bring in this receiver haul is amazing for this recruiting class. I know FSU wants to take 2 to 3 receivers, and I think for the third receiver, if they do take one, it would be another high caliber receiver that's highly rated. Well, I'm not going to say highly rated because I don't stars are we like stars, but they're not the tell all be all, right? It's the recruiting board and what these coaches value on their board. Now, of course, a lot of times the board do reflect stars and things like that because that is hand in hand. But these coaches go by that board, and as far as the board, I do think C.J. Wiley and Daylan McCutcheon are some of the top receivers on FSU's board. If they are to take another receiver, I feel like it'd be another top receiver as well. So I do think they'll be comfortable with two. We took 4 last cycle with LaWayne McCoy, Elijah Moore, who I'm very high on, B.J. Gibson, and Camden Fryer, the legacy recruit. So we took 4 receivers last year. I think FSU would be okay with 2 receivers. Like I said, we're trying to take 2 to 3. So if we do take a third one, it's going to be another highly rated kid that's on the FSU's board. So I love Daylan, really big get for FSU, big time playmaker. In my opinion, I don't like to say must get, but this kid was one of the must gets within this cycle. Big time player. I love the potential that he brings to FSU. But again, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have more information in regards to recruiting and things like that upcoming. Go Noles.